Now, the last thing that we'll look at is data security and integrity. Security obviously refers to the fact that data is stored in a proper place where we have access to it, and none other people except those authorized have access to it, and also it never falls into the hands of the wrong people. And integrity means that the data that we stored represents exactly what we stored it for. For example, we don't want to end up with the addresses being put where we wanted to put the masses, or whatever, the numbers getting confused over where they should fall and everything, and therefore the data now misrepresenting what we thought it actually represents, which could cause a lot of errors. For example, if the addresses are not in the right place, we might end up posting things to the wrong addresses, and or not posting anything at all, and that could be vital information that could be used to save lives. So integrity is about how accurate the information is and how it maintains its accuracy even in transit from one place to another. We don't want this data to be easily accessed to by other people who could change the values maybe in the money, who could change the values in the information itself, which could be dangerous. Now, so basically integrity is all about validity of the data, and data integrity can be compromised in a number of ways. These are some of the ways that can compromise data validity, which are human errors when data is entered. So people might not be well trained and they end up entering data in the wrong places, and then the data being useless, and also not even doing a checkup to say if they have entered the correct information. For example, when entering the ID number of South Africa, then forgetting to just check if it's 13 numbers or not. Then errors that occur when data is transmitted from a computer to another. We have power cuts. We've got a corrupt mediums of transfer, such as you might realize that your flash disk itself might actually have errors in it, and that can actually corrupt the data that is being transmitted and so forth. We also have what are called software bugs or viruses, which I don't even need to explain, especially viruses. I'm sure at one point your computer has been affected by viruses, which are literally computer software which is meant to affect your computer in a bad way. For example, you've got your Microsoft Word, which is meant for you to create documents. You might find a virus which is meant to delete every Microsoft Word document on your computer without your permission. So viruses are literally diseases to a computer. I think that's the best way to then just explain them, just like viruses in the real world. Bugs are not really viruses, are actually mistakes that could have been made when creating that particular software. So the software could have been said it should be able to do A, B, and C. Then at the end of the day, it can only do A and C, but B it cannot do. Not because the makers of the software wanted it not to do B. They actually wrote it down that it should be able to do B, but certain things might make it not be able to do so, and that is then what we call a bug. The other thing is hardware malfunctions, such as disk crashes. Obviously, our computers are not made perfect. They are not made to work forever. If only that was possible, we could do so, but it's not. At one point, some of the hardware or some of the properties that we have on the computer that make us be able to do what we need to do can actually break down. Part of those could be your hard drive. Your hard drive is literally where you store all the information on your computer. It can actually break down on its own. Now, that will mean that your computer will still be okay, except the fact that it has no more information at all. It has no memory at all. And now at this point, you are in trouble, because sometimes you might be able to replace the computer, but you can't really replace the information itself. And that could be a big problem. The other thing are natural disasters such as fires and floods. As you saw what just happened in KZN, the floods came and destroyed a lot of property. Part of those properties were offices. Part of those properties were people's homes, and part of the things that were destroyed are electronic equipment, which could be your computers, and that could actually affect how those people might actually be able to work and so forth. So those are some of the things that could affect the integrity of our data, and it is important to make sure that we're able to circumvent some of these effects by, for example, backing up all our data to an online to an online storage or to the cloud. as we refer to nowadays. That way, at least even if your computer itself is stolen, even if you lose it due to a flood, you know that at least the information that was stored on the computer itself is safely stored elsewhere, and you can always retrieve it whenever you need to, and that will be you'll be back to work in no time. So, ladies and gentlemen, this has been it in terms of this particular course. We have been able to cover all the unit standards that we are supposed to cover. I hope you learned a lot, and I hope you'll be able to complete all your assessments. Once you have any problems, do not hesitate to get in touch with me. Thank you so much.